Hi guys, welcome back to the Scat podcast. I'm your host dirtygary. As always, we will be talking about sexuality, kink, and specifically scat, so please be over at least 18 years of age. On today's show, I'm joined by Alex, who you might recognize by his voice. Alex is a long-term friend of mine, a fellow scat piggy, and most recently, Alex has sent in a few voice notes with questions for a previous guest. And you know me, people who send in voice notes get a special place in my heart. So be like Alex and send those voice notes in. And how else do you send them in? Of course, via Telegram. If you haven't joined the podcast channel and discussion group, you absolutely should. You will be also glad to hear that the www.scatpodcast.com has been finally done. You will find all the latest updates, all my links to socials, discussion groups, streaming platforms, but also articles and contact form. So do get in touch and have a look on the website at www.scatpodcast.com. It's beautiful. I built it myself. Last but not least, streaming is now also available on Apple Podcast. Just before we start, if you think the audio is a bit different today, you're not wrong. There has been some technical issues with my main mic, but do not fret, your boy Gary always has a backup, so we're all good. Trust me, I learned my lesson. Now let's talk to our special guest. Alex, welcome to the pod. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Thank you for having me. I was very excited for this opportunity.
Me too. I think I'm more excited than you are because we are friends for how many years? 3, 4 years for sure.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah. And it's nice to reconnect. I don't think that we ever had like a Zoom call or anything like that, but like you've been in my orbit for a very long time, so it's good to speak with you finally.
Yeah, I did.
Do you want
Um,
to do you want to introduce yourself to the listeners because there wasn't I didn't promote you as a guest because this is kind of spontaneous, and thanks for that as well, because you jumped on the call almost immediately. Like we didn't prep or anything like that. So I didn't really, send many promotions out there. But I think that's also nice, just to go with the flow. So if you just want to describe like what you do, who you are, and whatever you want to share with our listeners.
yeah, for sure. Again, my name is Alex, and I've been very excited to participate at this podcast because I'm not like a content creator or anything like that. I'm just someone who really enjoys this fetish, right? And I have practiced it a lot, explored it a lot, investigated a lot. I'm very intrigued on all the psychological process, physical process that involves having this type of fetish, you know. So I hope that people is excited to hear about this perspective as well.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I don't know what you mean that you're not a content creator because like you have amazing content. By the way, I'm just watching your media on Twitter and like the pictures that you take, even the videos, like they're amazing. So like, don't be too humble.
No, yeah, yeah, for sure. What I mean is like I really don't do it that often. Like for example, things that you see posted, like I take a video or a photo, like I don't know, every 6 months, or sometimes even longer. So that's what I meant. I'm not someone that records himself that often or creates a lot of content. But definitely, it's something that I enjoy, right? Um, so
Yeah,
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 that's why you see.
that's perfect. How would you describe like what you like in scat? What's the one category that you like?
There are many things that I enjoy, to be honest. I think that the main kink or the main turn on for me is this domination and submission dynamic, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
I enjoy the power play a lot and the fact that you can get into a very vulnerable, intimate, and private position with someone like that. It just really turns me on a lot. Me particularly also have a fetish with with odors pretty much, like the smell of things.
Mm.
Since I'm very young, I have this, I tolerate like a strong aromas that could be too much for people, but to me, it's just pleasure somehow, right? So
Yeah.
that's the second thing that turns me on, the power dynamic, and also how dirty it can get. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah. You see, I ask you because I always felt like we are kind of like in the same, the same rank, like the same kind of happy medium, like we don't do like you're not an eater. I don't see much like feeding videos from you. It's not as much into the smearing. We are kind of the Goldilocks gay scat content, So I just wanted to ask you, like, where do you see
Yeah,
yourself? Because
definitely.
yeah, we are the same tribe. And that's so interesting because you mentioned the smell. So like I've got early memories and like my mom, she was always telling me like, oh, you would always go through like my perfume cabinet. You always wanted to like smell and sniff everything, like as a kid, even a how do you call it? Like a nail polish remover. That was something that I was like, I loved it. I was obsessed, So, it's funny because I don't do poppers now, So like the sniffing of the nail polish remover, it didn't stick with me. But that's interesting. So like let's take a trip in the past and let's talk about how you discovered, that you like scat. Do you have any like concrete memory, like any specific memory that you can recall?
I do actually, and it's very interesting and well, I don't know if interesting, but quite different to what I heard so far for most of people into scat. Because as you already discussed in the podcast, sometimes this gets developed when you are younger, right? But to me, I remember the same thing as you described, always sniffing and smelling everything. It was something that it just caused me a lot of pleasure. But to be honest, I didn't experience any attraction to it during my teenage years or anything like that. It was until my 20s.
Mhm.
I was working in a company that required for you to be pretty much at the office a lot of time without permission to go out very often. So the bathrooms were like very near to the production area. And I remember that I used to take some breaks to, well, just to go and take a dump. But I was always very fascinated to sit for a couple of. At first, it started like just seeing if there was someone there already, like pooping, and just listen the way they fart, stay for a little bit longer just to see if I could feel the smell of it, you know. Um, it was usually something very discreet, like something, okay, I'm just here doing my thing, and if there's someone else next on the other side, that's fine. But I started enjoying it a lot. So then it became like a hobby. Like, okay, I'm gonna take my 20 minutes break and go see if someone is shitting and stay longer to listen the full thing, you know. So I have always been stimulated by these things, like the sound, the smell, the dynamic of doing something. It's not mainly about the shit itself, right? But all the things that happen around it, if I can say it like that. So that was definitely the first time I stay in this job like for a year, and I can tell you that during that full year, I did that almost daily. I heard a lot of farts. I even jerk off a lot on the bathroom, doing that because it just became addictive somehow, you know. And I was just new to it, so I was exploring it and just going all the way to enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah. That just confirms like my theory that like we are so close in what we like because this exactly, I can see myself doing this completely. Even though like I discovered the kink much earlier, so for me, like this is so interesting what you mentioned, like and like you're not the only one. Like I know lots of people who just lived kind of oblivious and only learned that, they like scat like when they were in their 20s or like mid 30s. Like so you're not the only one. It's just It's maybe a theory, like maybe something happens to you like when you're in the formative age, but could be also that it's something that we're born with and then we just discover it a little bit later. So that's kind of interesting. But just tell me, because with the bathrooms, like I have the same thing, and like it does help when you kind of know like it's only male space and like it's gonna be hot guys going there. So like at the job, was it lots of good looking people working there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, definitely with
Okay.
tons of them. And actually, that's what I started doing. Like at the beginning, as I said, it was just I just choose a random time. But of course, once I noticed, well, no one will find out what I was doing, I just started paying attention whenever a hot guy was going to the bathroom, because I
Yeah.
was pretty sure they were gonna do it. And to be honest with you, the part that really made me like stick into this fetish was that there was a guy who noticed. There was
Hmm.
a guy who noticed. He was gorgeous man with the stinky shit, definitely. And to him, of course, it was nothing like sexual. He was like, "Oh, you're just a fucking dirty man. What are you doing?" But he just continued. He never say anything. He was like this. A very manly interaction. Yeah, I just don't give a fuck if you hear me farting. I don't care. Yeah, it was just amazing. So, um, yeah, a lot of hot guys there.
Yeah. So this guy would kind of know that you go to the bathroom, you kind of follow him there. So he would just acknowledge it, like he would give you a look, or like did you have a discussion about it, or how did it go?
Yeah, yeah, it was very open. It was very open and direct. Like I went to the bathroom. We were like we're not close at work, but we knew each other. Um, so he said, "Okay, it's very weird that every time that I come to the bathroom, you also do it." And I was like, "Oh, you notice it?" Yeah, yeah, of course I noticed. So why is that? And I said, I just like the smell of your farts. But and I was laughing. I just said it like it was a fucking joke. It was like, oh, you fucking nasty pig. But like this again, he never really take it that seriously.
Mm,
So yeah, and he just went in. He did his thing, and I just jerk off on the next to him. I really don't know if he noticed that I jerk off, but for sure he was aware that I
yeah.
was there because of him, which for me was more than enough for my fantasy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he was maybe enjoying it as well, like attention kink or, like, but it's so funny because in most of the places or most of the people that I know would say like, oh, like, please don't sit me next to the bathroom door, like in the offices, people always want to be as far as possible so they don't hear, they don't see their colleagues going to the
Oh,
bathroom. So you would be the one like, oh no, I'll take the desk, next to
yeah,
the
yeah,
next
I
to the
don't mind. You
toilet.
can put my desk in the front. Yeah, I don't like.
Oh, that's so cool. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Now tell me, you mentioned like it's not like you started with the bathroom king, so you would be first like hearing the people, then smelling the people. When did you get comfortable with like looking at shit? Like, was it something that you were always comfortable, or did you have to kind of like build your own, resistance to look at it, like, and do you do something more than, like looking at it?
Yeah, definitely. That was like after that experience, it took me like another year to give the next step, which was the definitely shit play, right?
Hmm.
There are not many people into scat where I'm from, so it was very hard to find someone matching. So the first thing that I think, okay, I'm gonna play with my own shit. I'm usually only top, right? So I'm not very used to play with my ass at all, like penetration or anything like that. So digging my hole was quite an experience.
Mm.
I wasn't very enjoying it at the beginning, but I was very intrigued of how shit will feel. Like again, as I said, I have very high tolerance with the aroma and everything, so I wasn't very worried about that. So it was just like when you're a kid and you just play with things that you find right around. It was pretty
Yeah.
much the same thing. I started fingering myself. I usually big shitter, right? So my body's always full. So it wasn't very hard to dig in and find something. And that's when I out that first thing, I really enjoy. Okay, the texture is fine. I love how it smells. My smell is very, very strong. So it's like, okay, if I can
Mhm.
handle this, I can handle anything.
Yeah, yeah,
um, and that took me to the other part that I particularly enjoy, which is marrying. That's pretty much what took me to explore that part also.
yeah. That's cool. Intrigued by you mentioning that your smell is very strong. How would you describe your smell? I know it's a difficult
Oh
question.
man, that's a hard one. Yeah, it's hard. I don't think that I can describe it like very specifically, but I can tell you for sure that everyone that knows me, that it's my friend that has lived with me, or there's a family member of mine, couple, whatever, everybody knows that when I'm going to the bathroom, they have to step away. Like I'm the type of person that the bathroom is always very stinky. I shit a lot, and it's just this strong aroma that it doesn't matter if you flush and you burn candle or anything like that in the bathroom. Is this a strong aroma that remains in your nose for at least 15 minutes? Like that's for sure. It's very heavy. It's very heavy.
I love it. I wish that computers could transmit the smells as well sometimes, because I'm so curious now. But yeah, I had a friend, what you're describing to me. I had a friend who was exactly like that. So he was going to high school with me, and like you couldn't like the smell would linger for like an hour in the toilet, so you would always know. And like we all knew, like that was him. And like, he was very cool with it, which was like that was charming. And I remember he once visited my house, and my sister was home, and he used the toilet. And then when he left, my sister was like, "Oh my God, what happened there?" That was like something that, she like didn't expect, and she didn't know how to react, because in my family, like I think the smells are not as strong, probably. So she was like horrified. And I said, "Look, like he just needed to go to the toilet. Like that's, you can't,
It
it's
is
your
what it is.
microbiome. Yeah, it is what it is. And like, it's probably a sign of a healthy microbiome, like
Probably, yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah,
Another thing that
that's
you
something that I
mentioned,
think it's. Uh-huh.
I
Yeah,
just
go
wanted to
ahead.
say, you mentioned that like so you are top, right? Like if I'm understanding correctly, even looking at your pictures, like beautiful penis, amazing. So you started playing with your ass, that was something new. But like my thought is as well, like because I'm the same, and like people just assume like if you're into scat, and like I show lots of my ass, and like people know me for my ass, and looking at me like going to shit. But lots of people just assume like I'm a bottom. But like I actually know lots of people who are feeders, they like to shit, but they're actually tops, So you started exploring your ass, kind of out of blue, like you didn't enjoy bottoming before, so that was a new experience for you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It was something new, and I wanted to add something to what I was discussing about the smell of my shit, just for you to
Yeah.
have an idea. That
Okay.
day that I digging my hole, I pretty much shit on the floor, right? Because
Mm,
I was in my bedroom, right? I was in bed. I was still afraid to, stains in the bed sheets or thing like that. So I went to the floor. I took a dump. Man, my roommate was literally horrified as well. He said, like, "What the fuck were you doing there?" Because the smell stayed like for 3 hours, like for
yeah.
3 hours. It was very intense. But that was definitely the day that I started enjoying playing with my ass. I'm still, again, I don't have experience bottoming. I have been never like fucked.
Mhm.
Um, but this took me to another trip on this cat fetish, which was this submission. I always have not conflict, but at least where I live, people is not very open sexually. So saying that you're a top, but a submissive top sounds very messed up for most of people. Like they don't get it. But that's how I will describe myself. Like I would like to fuck you, but I like all the experience of being submissive to your smell, like worship you completely, and that includes, of course, farts and shit. I just love that, and lately have been very open to the fact that I might be a bottom at some point because I just love to meet other dom tops, right? Who
Yeah.
somehow are more masculine than me, more yeah, uh, just dominated than me, and I just have been enjoying a lot. They have been fingering my ass a lot. I'm playing with toys and things, so I think that I'm enjoying that part also, and that's where I'm at this point in my life.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Look, Alex, I'm gonna say one thing, like you don't need to fit any molds. Like you should focus on being yourself because like you are a gorgeous person. You like amazing like things that you're saying, like anyone who's gonna end up with you, like they're gonna be very, very lucky. I can say that for sure.
Thank you, man. That's sweet. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm just curious now. So, like you're saying, and I'm getting all of that, like because I think this is fluid as well. Sexuality is very fluid, and in your early 20s, you might feel like a dumb top, and in your mid 20s, you might feel completely differently about it. So, like,
Yeah.
describe to me like an ideal partner that, what would you do? Like, how would you? Describe a scenario. What would be like the dream kind of fun session that you want to do?
Yeah. Okay. So, to be honest with you, I have that very perfectly described because I actually met someone who met all the criteria to be
Cool.
like the
Yeah,
perfect
perfect.
boyfriend and the perfect fucked. He was a doctor. And the reason might sound stupid, but I really like that he was on the health industry as well because we both know how the body works. We both don't have this situation of it can be disgusting or nasty. Everything is very, we know everything about the body, right? So I love that openness about him. And he was just also a heavy shitter as me, you know.
Mhm.
The first time we met, he came to my apartment. The first thing that he did was go into the bathroom, and I knew with instinct that I was gonna fall in love with him. Um, then I talked to him about my fetish immediately because I just felt enough. You know, I was too horny, too excited, too everything, and I was like, just I love what you just did. I just love the dump that you took in my toilet, and I have this thing. What do you think? And luckily, he was very intrigued about it. And so far, we keep talking. And the dynamic that we have is that he likes to send pictures of everything that he's eating during the day, just for me to know, everything that is gonna come out at some point. He likes to send me videos shooting at his work, or if he's in a bar or something like that, if he feels like it, he goes and records for me. I really love those intimate dynamics, of always keeping us and teasing each other. What are we doing? If I'm too gassy one day, I'm definitely sending audios all day about it farting. So if I meet someone, that's the type of dynamic that I want to have. This fetish is definitely something that it's important
Yeah.
in my life. It's something too enjoyable for me. It's something that I don't plan at any point to keep hidden, or not talk
Mhm.
about it. So that would describe like the perfect dynamic with a person. Just all of that, not being afraid or not being shy, or just be nasty.
Yeah. Like I'm actually now like speechless. Like I'm so happy for you, first of all, and like Like I didn't know when I was asking you for this that you actually will, reveal that you started dating someone or seeing someone who's like a perfect match. Like I'm so happy for you. Like it's the best news ever. So listen, I'm gonna lit up a candle,
Thank you.
send all the good vibes, that is working out for you, and like because sounds perfect. So fingers crossed. Did you
Thank you,
did you ever
Chase. Thank you, love.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Look, so hopefully, we'll meet like in a year or two, and you'll be like, okay, you're invited for a wedding. It's gonna be a smelly wedding. I'd love that actually.
For
That would be
sure.
amazing. Oh, that's brilliant. Now, so this just
Oh,
makes my day. That makes my days. That's brilliant. So I'm gonna be keeping all my fingers crossed for you too. Um, did you have any like kinky relationship before, or is like a first time you are open with someone?
no, it's the first time. It's the first time that I'm completely honest with a person. My previous couples, they had an idea
Hmm.
of how picky I could get, because I was always like, okay, I don't want you to shower like for 2 days, for 3 days, and they were completely fine with it. So then I was like, okay, what if you fart while I'm remain your ass? Would you be willing to do that? I was always very vocal about certain things, but never that explicit. So it's the first time that I can be free completely.
Yeah. That's amazing. Like you mentioned that it feels like a crucial part of yourself, and I think it's healthy to not to only disclose it to the person who you're with, you're happy with, and it's also for yourself, just to kind of reveal, like not to keep it as a secret, like for your mental health and everything. I think that's really important as well. So well done.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. That's exactly the way I see it. That's the reason why I was so invested in reading about this. There's not much information, as you well may know already. So I said, okay, if there's not enough information to talk about it, the least that I can do is just talk about it myself. Not been
Yeah.
afraid, been open, and it's not causing any harm to me, to anyone else. It's always consensual, it's always intimate. So fuck off, just like just gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. I love it. Well, and it's so good that you're on this podcast because that's exactly what I'm trying to do, and like you're the perfect spokesperson for all of us out there. So thank you so much for being here. I want to go back to the stinks. So outside of the scat play, like, is there any different aspects of the stink um that you kind of like use within your, let's say, romantic sexual endeavors? Like, is there something else that you're attracted different type of stink?
Yeah, definitely. Like that's part of my main role play with
Hmm.
every sexual partner that I have. I always like to keep instructions. Okay, if you wanna fuck with me, again, you don't have to shower like at least for 2 days. That's like the minimum
Okay. Yeah.
requirement because I do enjoy that a lot. Like enjoy stinky pits, musky ass, sweaty feet, sweaty balls. I love smegma as well.
Hmm.
Uh, I enjoy everything that pretty much that gives you that intimacy, and that the smell is really strong. I have met other people that they enjoy certain smells only, like only the pits or only, the dick or whatever. But to me, it's everything. Man scents, it just makes me crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a friend, you might know him. He used to be on Twitter. His name was Smutty with double T or triple T. I think that he changed it. So he's got exactly the same thing that you're describing. So he's into like smegma and all of this. So like we should totally do like an event, where we all kind of meet together and like you should meet him because I think that, he's got the same kind of sense of like smell and the smell kink and I would be into certain smells, but like my question is like how many days without a shower is like the ideal? What's the gold ratio for the stink?
Oh man, like. there's no limit, but like what I have experienced so far, it's a week. Yeah, there was
Hmm.
this submissive guy that came to where I live. He was just traveling. We spoke on social media like a month before he came, and that was like the requirement: 7 days, no shower.
7 days no
And
shower. Wow.
I dare
Okay.
to say that he got really excited. That I'm pretty sure that it was more than seven because the stink was incredible. It was intense, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
Oh, that's really
I
cool.
totally enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's cool that people actually, take the commitment as well, not to shower for 7 days. Like I can imagine but that also makes it a little bit hot, right? Like when the person actually, like they followed the instructions and they didn't shower for 7 days.
Yeah, that's right. What I find really interesting, intrigues me. It's how thin it's what divides like common kinks from kinks like the one we're discussing, like scat play,
Hmm.
because most of the scat play that I have experienced here, it starts with something like this, like, okay, so you're not gonna shower. Okay, good, I'm good with that. Okay, but you're not wiping your ass either. They're like, okay, why is that? Because I'm gonna wipe it with my tongue. And they're like,
Yeah.
okay, that's weird, but okay, sure, if that's your order, I'm gonna follow it. So, and all of a sudden, they ended up shitting in my dick, and not giving and not paying attention to it, and they just enjoy it. Like, so it's always
Mm.
very intriguing to me how thing is that line. Where people is mostly unaware of what other things they can explore if they just dare to be more open.
Yeah. That's really cool. So you kind of use it as a qualifier. If let's put it that way, so like you're like, okay, if this person is happy enough not to shower for me, like he's likely to be happy to do different dirty things. So I think that's really cool. Good strategy.
Yeah, that's right. That's my catch. Definitely.
Guys, that is just about what we could fit in one episode. However, this is not where our chat with Alex ended. Things got a bit heated, and let's just say the streaming platforms are not ready for this type of content. If you want to hear the second part of the interview, check out my Telegram channel or see my website. The links will be there, and you will hear things like this. How would you dominate me? Like, what would you ask me to do?
If you really want to have my dick inside you, or if you want to play with me, you have to follow my instructions. You're gonna be naked. You're gonna have to undress, and I will evaluate the stink on your pits, the stink of your ass. I will see if the underwear is as dirty as you were telling me you will do it. I just love that, and digging in just to see how full your ass is.